singing songs. We're singing songs. I know my mic's on. You don't think I know my mic's on? Come on now. Come on. I know everything. I don't know everything. Hey, everybody. Welcome to 20 Minutes of Coffee. I was about to start the show when I realized I did not have on a bathrobe. But you really can't see with this camera angle I have that, I could be wearing nothing. You see the tippy top. The poppermost of the toppermost of the poppermost. That's what I'm trying to say. Today's episode is here. It's here. And yes, it's on a Wednesday. It is on a Wednesday because everything has kind of shifted. David McKay's here. I did escape the spider. That's part of the reason I'm late. Not late, but befuddled. I'm befuddled. You look at the clock and you go, it's 9:15. I got 45 minutes until my show. We're good. And then you look up and it's 9:40. Then you look up and it's 9:52. Then a spider comes down from the roof, the ceiling, from the inside of your house and lands on your arm. And I don't hate spiders. I'm not afraid of them, but I don't love them. I try to live in harmony with them, and I don't kill them. So I had to get it. I had to save it and send it out to the backyard. It was a supersized daddy long legs, which is okay. I know their bites could kill humans if their bites were strong enough to break through our skin, but they're not. Right? It's one of the little things of the delicate balance of nature. Do you see that as a proof of God? I do. Yeah, I do. Not only proof of God, but maybe God's sense of humor, like pushing up against really just almost not puns and word play, but nature play from God. Look at it, I just created something that could kill you, but it can't because if your skin is weak, maybe it could. If its fangs were sharper, maybe it could. Right, but I don't think spiders have fangs. They might look like fangs. Anyways, all right. So Natalie's here. It says, you don't know spiders, you've experienced Australian spiders. And I agree with that. And I have not experienced Australian spiders, but maybe one day. I'd love to get to Australia. Love to get to New Zealand. Love to do that side. I want to get into some, we got Super Tuesday fallout. We got spiders falling from the ceilings. We got a lot going on. But I'm watching this. What is this? Philippines convoy swarmed by larger Chinese ships. Oh my God. Everything. Can we just have one section of the world that isn't about to explode? I know the earth is round, right? Not a flat earther. Fascinated by flat earthers, but I know it's round. But even I sometimes forget when, you spend your whole life looking at like an atlas. We had a globe in our house. We had a globe, but, you spend your whole life looking at an atlas. Even when you bring up like Google Maps or something like that, or Google Earth, it starts as like the earth, but then it's kind of flat on your screen, right? I was watching somehow the one of the things that just pops up on Twitter or Instagram, where you're just kind of scrolling threads. I don't like Blue Sky, so I'm on there, but not really on there. And I saw it was like, here's a plane taking off from like South America, maybe Brazil. I can't remember where it started, and it's flying to Australia. And it goes, poop, and it just goes kind of what I would call straight down. And I was like, what? That's not the way to Australia. It's this way. And I kind of remind myself, well, you see, there again too, Ken. The earth is a globe. It's a ball. It's round, a basketball, if you will. So when you're looking at Australia, there, it's whoop. It's not necessarily a straight shot, but it's whoop. And I laughed. There was one point sharing things about how stupid I am. I live in the San Fernando Valley, one of the more famous valleys, I'd say maybe even the world, because of pop culture. Valley speak, mall culture, a lot of the stuff from the 80s. It's still a punchline in a lot of things. I love the Valley, by the way. If you move out here, you should live here, not Hollywood or anywhere else. But it's the San Fernando Valley. And one day I was leaving my old job, and there was like a little, the street, Nordhoff, if you're looking on a map, Nordhoff Avenue, goes up and over, right? Like a little bridge. And I got to the peak there, the apex. And I looked around. I was like, that's so funny. It was like 7 a.m. I was like, oh, look, there's mountains there. There's mountains there. There's mountains in my rearview mirror. It's like we're in a valley. And the rest of the way I had to drive home just going, Ken, you're stupid. You're stupid. You live in the San Fernando Valley. Oh, my gosh. No coffee today. David McKay asks, are we talking the big news, or are you saving Frank Oz versus a Cookie Monster for any time? Actually, yeah, it's so funny you mentioned that. For those that did not know, maybe we can we bring this up? Frank Oz. We'll talk a little bit here. I love Frank Oz, by the way. One of my regrets is not saying hi to him at the Last Jedi after party. Yeah, I can't find it. Okay. Yes. What happened was here it is. Wow. A lot of comments on this one here. There we go. Matthew Stokes is here. Says you can almost sail straight line from the UK to New Zealand without hitting land. Freaky. Yeah. Brian Tiller knows the Valley. Totally tubular, for sure. As if. Yeah. Here it is. Cookie Monster tweeted on March 4th. Me hate shrinkflation. Me cookies are getting smaller. Which I thought was funny. Frank Oz, who I'd call is he can get socially involved. I think he's got a lot of good takes on the world that I've seen that I like, and I just love Frank Oz. I love him as a director. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, one of my favorite movies. That's what I wanted to talk to him about at the Last Jedi premiere, and I failed. And of course, Muppets. I'd say he knows a little thing or two about Muppets. Frank Oz responded, I'm shocked to see a news article on Cookie Monster talking about shrinkflation. Jim, obviously meaning Jim Henson, would never have allowed this. The Sesame Street Muppets need to live in their own pure world, not our world. What has happened to the integrity of the character and the integrity of Sesame Workshop? And I have mixed feelings on that. I'll say this. He's definitely not wrong on what Jim wouldn't have allowed then. And maybe that means now. The world has changed since Jim tragically passed away very much too early. Maybe Jim would feel that there is a place for the Muppets, specifically the Sesame Street Muppets, to get into something specific about the world. I don't know. I have a hunch that maybe Jim Henson would probably, I don't know, keep to what he had said, but still teach the valuable lessons in the world. That may be why corporate greed is causing shrinkflation. Maybe you don't say that directly. Maybe the shopkeeper on Sesame Street raises prices, but keeps the apples the same size. So I don't disagree with Frank Oz here. He definitely would know this, and he definitely has a good point here. I'm just at the point where I think everything should be political, and that there should be not a ton of things that are just, casual entertainment and blah, 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 right? You have to look for these things everywhere and fight these things everywhere. So I'm okay with Cookie Monster saying this. I was even telling my buddy Ken Plume I would call him a Muppet expert. Like, I think he should launch a show called Muppet Center. I really think he should. He's so great. He's got some viral tweets out there about the Muppets. He's very familiar with the world of the Muppets, very familiar with a lot of the things around what has happened with the Muppets, which I think is some of what Frank Oz is talking about here. There has been a change in the approach, and there has been a little bit of a ding to the integrity of what used to be, and that's part of it is because they were acquired by a larger corporation, and they became more of a property than maybe even originally intended. where Muppets never felt like a property or an IP. It felt like a world you were calling into. So that's why I agree in principle with everything Frank Costa says. But I was saying to Ken Plume, I do want my Muppets political. I would love to have Miss Piggy bait Donald Trump into like a Twitter fight, right? Where he would be posting on Truth Social in all caps about horrible things about Miss Piggy, right? That we could just pull that dummy into a debate with a Muppet. So I do want that. So maybe that's in a different time slot. Maddie Gutter says, not the cookies, there's nothing sacred. So there you go. David McKay, channel member David McKay. You asked, I answered. I do have some thoughts on that. I want to get Alden's thoughts on that. Because again, Frank Oz isn't just being crotchety old man here. He isn't. There's been some, the way they handle some of the Muppet stuff nowadays is perhaps a little off the path of that Jim set out for them, which is valid. Live. This is why you've got it. You could be watching this later. But you got to become a channel member and join the conversation live in chat, because Kingsport Cow just said something that made me actually LOL, as the youngsters from other generations say. Oscar gets beat up by the cops. Yeah, let's get into a police brutality. Let's get into a police brutality and the issue of the homeless crisis and how it's all related to economics and poverty. Let's attack it with Oscar. That's what I want. That's literally what I want. God, that's hilarious, Cal. That's what I want. That's what I'm talking about. Give me the political Muppets. And maybe it needs to be in another time slot. Oh God, you had me laughing so much, Cal, that I don't even have time to fix my camera angle here. Let me do that. Yeah, there you go. So you can see all my face. Love it. There you go. I'm going to change the thumbnail of that episode to the Wanting Political Muppets. Something like that. No surprise in the Super Tuesday. We are now set for a Biden-Trump rematch, which is depressing on a lot of levels. I get it, on a lot of levels, even some I might not fully agree with. I am fully behind Biden in this rematch, but I understand people wanting perhaps other choices. And maybe we'll definitely get that in 2028. So be ready. Nikki Haley has exited the race even after winning in Washington, D.C. Not a lot of delegates there. And Virginia, right? She took Virginia. They have a Republican governor who has been, I saw an article say, has a lot of apathy towards Trump, we'll say. So no shockers there. But she dropped out. Trump is not officially the nominee, but he is the presumptive nominee, which, of course, caused old slack-jawed Mitch McConnell, a man who has not spoken to Trump for 3 years, who stood against Trump in the January 6th insurrection attack on the Capitol, has said in this statement today, it is abundantly clear that former President Trump has earned the requisite support of Republican voters to be our nominee for President of the United States. It should come as no surprise as nominee, he will have my support. It is no surprise, Mitch, because you're spineless. That's the thing no one's surprised about. You are spineless. You're an absolute spineless human being, proven it time and time again. And Nikki Haley has yet to endorse Trump. If she does, officially endorses Trump. And I'm not saying I'm expecting her to endorse Biden, but so far she's given a, hey, congratulations, good luck to Donald Trump type of thing, but she did not endorse him for president. If she does, every word she said on the campaign trail, some of it things I would agree with about Trump, meant nothing. Absolutely meant nothing. Absolutely meant nothing. I keep using the word feckless because it's one of my favorites, but spineless, weak, whatever you want to say. These are all folks who are falling in line and bending the knee to Donald Trump. And in a weird way, folks like Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, Grandma Bobo, who might not win, might not be around much longer. Who knows? Marjorie Taylor Greene, Elise Stefanik, Mike Johnson. These are all people I consider horrible, horrible Trump culties. But at least they've just decided that's what they are. If I'm going to say one nice thing, they don't go around pretending to fight Trump and then, when losing to him, bend the knee for the sake of a party that is run by this mega cult, that has been destroyed by this mega cult. Chris Christie, I don't think someone might correct me, I don't think he's come out and endorsed Trump. I hope he holds strong. Otherwise, everything he said in those town halls meant nothing, and I hope Haley holds strong. If you can't get yourself to say the words, I endorse Joe Biden as president, like Mark Cuban did, who said he voted for Haley in the primary because he's a registered Republican, but he'd vote for Biden, even if he was on his deathbed in the election. Nikki Haley needs to say something like that. And why I think it's important for Nikki Haley to say something like that if you're on the side that wants to see Trump lose, and I know some of you watching, some of you longtime listeners of me who came from the schmoes world don't agree with that. You've let me know in comments before on Instagram videos and everything. Got it, good. But Trump did not destroy in the actual votings of the primaries. He won, he killed in that regard, but if you look at the numbers, there's still a lot of Republicans who don't want him to be the nominee. And I hold that onto that with some hope. So if someone like Haley comes on and gives them permission, I think the key is to give folks permission. That's why speaking out is important. And that's something that has changed in me. I still don't go on Twitter ranting. I don't go on, but I use these shows to at least be more honest. I try to have a reasoned approach to everything, but to at least be more honest. Because as I was changing politically and socially over the years, it helped to have people I felt understood where I was coming from say something that maybe I was feeling. It helped to hear someone say, you know what, I am pro-police. I understand the industry and the needs of crime fighting, but what's going on isn't right. Like, I didn't hear that. I was having those thoughts, but I didn't hear that till I got outside of the bubble. And that's a shame. So there might be a lot of Republicans. They're on the fence. There might be a lot of evangelicals. There might be a lot of those people who just, if they feel they're not alone, they might change and might feel like they could actually affect some sort of change inside the GOP. And so that's why I hope Nikki Haley will go against her former boss and not endorse him. Another thing that happened is the shuttering of Rooster Teeth, and this affects some people I know, and trying to get to the news on this one here. Rooster Teeth, of course, a giant YouTube-based digital content creation company. They long ago they've stopped being independent long ago, and of course now are a subsidiary of Warner Brothers Discovery, and we know how good that goes, right? This is another, and everyone knew this was coming. Doesn't make it any easier and doesn't make it any less worse. But they're keeping part of, to be clear, there's one part of their company, I think the Roost Podcast, yeah, there it is. The Roost Podcast Network will remain in operation, while WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, evaluates outside interest in acquiring this growing asset. It's so sad that this is where we're at, and this is where we've been at for a long time. It's just we're watching it, particularly in the digital media industry, the film industry, streaming industry. The goal is to create something to be acquired, and then that company that acquires it then tries to sell that. If they can't sell it, they shutter it, right? Nothing is about the creation. Nothing is about the art. Nothing is about believing in the Rooster Teeth brand, which has been around for 21 years. Nothing is about that. It is all about, this is a line item on our portfolio. And is it turning a profit? Can we sell it for profit? Or do we need to shut it down? This happens. We're seeing it all the time. Look at the video game industry, what's going on with that. Look at the streaming services. I've complained openly about Anchor of being acquired by Spotify, and eventually, and I'm someone who uses Spotify almost unapologetically on the music side, despite the fact that they pay out the least. Their sound quality is the worst. Brian Tiller and I will tell you that from putting the Moonager stuff there. But Anchor, which was something pretty good and something I heartily endorsed, is not endorsable for me anymore as a place to put your podcast. It's okay, but it's not the best. And it was one of those things that was acquired, and eventually it'll be shuttered or it'll be sold. And that's all we are. Maddie Gutter says Red versus Blue is great. Yeah, that's one of their series, right? Which I think is still going. It's part of that, right? No. All right. So it's, WBD will exploit options for Rooster Teeth's catalog, content, and IP such as Red versus Blue, RWBY, and Gen Lock. Founded in 2003. It was, it was owned by Fullscreen. I was around for the Fullscreen days on a lot of friends in town getting picked up by Fullscreen, Otter Media. And, it's you can't get, the unfortunate thing is you can't get far being independent for too long. Oh, my camera froze. Thank you. I don't know what that is about. Oh, yeah, it did. Camera froze. Can you guys still hear me? I'm going to try to... Yeah. All right. As long as you can hear. Okay. Then can you still see the screen? Can you still see the computer screen moving? Okay. Yeah, for whatever reason, maybe it got knocked off. The blue light on the camera is now dead. It happens every now and then. All right, so this is just going to be an audio episode. See, I've been acquired. I've been acquired by a company, and this is a rat. All right, cool. That's all you need. Just my frozen face. Do I at least look sexy? I don't look too bad on it. I don't look too bad on it. You know what I need? I need one of those things where like the ads are still going. Yeah, thank God the ads are still going. Thank God the ads are on the screen rolling. Do you guys need a Vino? Oh, that's the daily moisturizer I use in this house. Oh, boy. Look, I'm on deadline now. House of Dragon Season 2 to debut in June. It says Warner Brothers Discovery. Yeah, see? There again, too. Warner Brothers Discovery. WBD. We need to do like a Clutch Cargo. Someone edit my voice, my mouth moving. Their hands like a Muppet. It all comes back to Muppets. I look like it's 10 a.m. Says Kingsport Cal. It is 10 a.m. Yeah. I don't have coffee today. I have fruit juice, and I was going to talk about fruit juice. JW Baseman's here. Looking forward to lunch, he says, today, because I'm saving room for a solid Del Taco order. Goddamn right you are. Goddamn right you are. Baseman, I was going to reach out to you. That thing you sent me, I finally got to use. That I wanted to thank you personally. So I'll still do that, but I'll thank you publicly. In fact, some of the fruit juice I'm sipping, thanks to you. Ads in 24 seconds. There you go. So the spider, I was sitting on the couch. Today and getting ready for this episode, sending a work email. And all of a sudden, I felt something, and I looked, and a rather large-sized daddy longlegs was sliding down from the ceiling onto my arm. I handled it pretty calmly. Like I said, I'm not afraid of spiders, definitely not as afraid as I used to be. Grace is, so it's my job in the house to make sure we're spider-free. We have a quarterly service. They come by, do all that stuff, all good. But it was disconcerting. I'm good with running into a spider in a corner of the house, outside in the yard. We have we have kind of a wild yard, you know what I mean? One of those natural, everything just grows where it grows type of jungle yards. I love it. So I'm spider out there every now and then, not a problem. In my garage where I work out, if there's a spider, yeah. And I leave them be, they leave me be. We have a great agreement. We have an agreement. But the agreement does not include the couch underneath the ceiling fan inside my house. That's not part of the agreement. So we negotiated a contract settlement, and the spider's now outside. But I survived it. I absolutely survived it. I'll get out of here shortly because, well, why stick around if you can't see my face moving? I'm excited. I'll say this. I'm excited for House of Dragon Season 2. That's pretty good. We're good with that. Kingsport Cal wanted to know the story, and I'll tell the story of Frank Oz at the Last Jedi premiere in the after party. I was lucky to go to the Last Jedi premiere 2017. And then we got to go to the after party. And there was two sides to the after party. There was the general side, general admission side. If you got to go to the premiere, you got to go down to this. It was at USC, and we got to go down to this big, wide open kind of ballroom spot. And you know, snacks and all. I remember getting some like taquitos or something right away. Me, Mark Ellis, Donald Faison, and Zach Braff. We were standing around eating like taquitos. I'll never forget that. We're just standing around there. But there was another side that was like the VIP side. But we weren't VIP. No, not at all. But our friend, Dorina, a lot of you know Dorina Ariano, she's VIP. Even if she's not VIP, she's VIP. And she said, losers, come with me. And, you know, we had Nathan Hamill in our friend group. And his dad has a little something to do with Star Wars and had a lot to do with The Last Jedi. And his dad was there. But even we needed to pull Nathan with us. And we all walked up to the gate, to the purple rope, and some intimidating security people there. And we were like, well, we're going to be eating taquitos on the non-VIP side for the rest of the night. There's no way we're getting past this. And Dorina's like, all right, cool, they're with me. And that was it. We were on our way. We were into the party. And got to spend the rest of the night on the VIP side, which was just lovely. Absolutely lovely. But anyways, flash forward to the end of the night. It's getting towards the end. Some drinks have been had, and I'm just sitting there by myself. And there's like a bunch of people in the center. There's Gwendolyn Christie. There is Kathleen Kennedy, who has a twin sister, so they're both there. Janine Gavankar was over there. Daisy Ridley was there. Like they were all, Kelly Marie Tran. But off near me, leaning up against a table like someone does at the end of a night, you know what I mean? Like when the party's almost over, was Frank Oz. He had a drink in his hand, kind of leaning over. You could tell he was tired, but he was within 5 feet from me. And I thought, here's my opportunity. Not only to go say, hey, thanks for Yoda. Thanks for all the Muppet memories. I am a huge fan of his version of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels from, 88 with Michael Caine and my man Steve Martin. Love that film. And Ian McDiarmid as the butler. Welcome to hell. So I was trying to work up the courage, maybe a little liquid courage, to just go over and be like, Mr. Oz, I just want to say thank you for everything. And I just got to say, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is one of my favorite films, blah, blah, blah. I was like, this is it. Because I don't want to talk about Star Wars. I want to talk about Yoda. I want to talk about that. And I was like, and you're getting a little nervous. You're like, can I do this? Can I bother him? Do I even want? I'm on the VIP side, but I don't belong here. And I was about to step up to him. And someone from the 501st step in. I have a complicated relationship with the members of the 501st. Great charity organization. They do great work. A lot of the members. And I'm an honorary member of the Belgium division. And they are wonderful and warm people I got to hang out with in Chicago. But some of the 501st people are kind of like a biker gang. And one of them with his dumb little 501st baseball jersey, which is always horribly designed and horrible colors, stepped in front of me, goes up to Mr. Frank Oz, engages in conversation, and Frank lights up. Frank wasn't like, get away, kid. He was like, oh, nice to meet you. What's your name? Oh, my God. Had a full-on conversation with him. And then I lost the moment. I was like, maybe I wait around. But then by that time, we were kind of getting ready to go. I looked over, and Mark was hanging out and talking, making Kelly Marie Tran laugh. And I was like, I got to go over there. I did kind of nod at Peter Mayhew, but Peter Mayhew was, the late Peter Mayhew was looking kind of tired, and I didn't want to bother him. He was in a wheelchair and didn't want to do that. And the night ended, and I looked for Frank Oz, and I never saw him. Never saw him. And that was my opportunity. I hope to get it again. I did not see him at the solo after party. I did not get to go to the Rise of Skywalker one. And, if there's a Star Wars film that comes back in theaters, maybe. Kingsport Cow says, I should have gone with my gut from the start. I should have. because I wasn't going to be annoying. I wasn't going to be an a-hole about it. If he didn't want to talk, I would have backed away, just nodded. But I just wanted to say thank you, not only for everything again. Grew up a Muppet kid. Obviously, Yoda. Dirty, rotten scoundrels, man. I'm sure he would have told me stories. So, one of these days. But let that be a lesson. All right, we're going to start signing on out of here. I got to get back to things there. There we go. Take your chances, kids. All right, there you go. Sorry the camera froze, but hey, it felt like an old school podcast. This is what we do on 20 Minutes of Coffee. We talk about all the things going on in the world, talk about things in my life. We hang out. Members get it live. You get to watch it later. We get to have a lot of fun. Tomorrow, Thursday night, the Blathering Live. I had to move it from tonight to tomorrow because of the Bad Batch recording schedule today on Force Center. So join me tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific, for about 2 hours of live AM talk radio. That's what we got going over there. Pretty soon, I'm going to work it in where I can take calls. I want to take calls from channel members. All right? You're the best around. Nothing's ever going to get you down. See you soon. 20 Minutes of Coffee here in the Ken Napzok channel. It's done.